There you go.
How
Well,
far did you get in the process?
so in the process of stabbing myself in the eyes and wishing for death, I got 41 out of 58 minutes, which sounds bad, but it actually did give me an important clarifying point, which is uh, it strikes me as very odd that the elements they haven't gotten to infer that they solved the big problem in like 10 minutes.
Well, well, hold up. Are we even watching the same show? Because I have a trailer for the show. I wanna play for the people.
Well, I was watching the episode before last. I was way back because
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
my sources don't have access to the current bullshit.
Well,
Um,
hold up. Let me show the trailer. So
okay,
see if
you
we're
you
talking
have
about
open
the same
you have
show.
you have opening bullshit for today.
Yes, yes. Give me a
Okay.
second. All right, here we go. Pull this up.
Finals done. Simulators off. Bar lights on. Let's go! Warp theory test at 8. Astrogation nearly broke my brain. Transporter math, subspace fields. I swear I saw equations in my dream again. Command ethics, prime directive, law, first contact rules we had to quote. But tonight no one's grading us. Tonight we just stay afloat. We survive tactical simulations, security drills, zero G spins. If the fleet needs hero tomorrow, tonight the party wins. Friday night, Academy bar, troops, officers, local stars, and all biology can't wait till dawn for another synth beat song. No ranks, no drills, no chain of command, just beer foam in someone's hand. If the galaxy calls too soon, tell them we'll launch afternoon. Telecartography maps in my head, flight control reflex overload. Medical cadets finally dancing, engineering left that to a mode. Diplomacy class said, watch what you say. Tonight we say it anyway. Temporal mechanics can bend time later. Right now, DJ, don't fade. 4 years pressure, non-stop test, command track stress on every chest. And if history wants our name someday, it can wait one more night, okay? Friday night, Academy lights, we earn this noise, we earn this night. From warp theory to first contact, tonight we don't overthink facts. Friday night, let's stop it, wait. Tomorrow we navigate fate, but right now this bar, this song, this crew is everything that's true. Computer, cancel alarms till morning.
So I don't know
It
what
took
you're talking about. That's a good
it
show.
it took me a minute. It took me a minute to figure out what I was looking at. I don't want to be clear because any passerby who thinks that we lay into new stuff because it's new and we don't give old stuff it's due for when it's shit. I want to be extremely clear. Whoever took an AI and made that pure cancer so you could inject it in my eyes is a war criminal and
What?
should be shot, because
What?
taking the concept of Starfleet Academy as a show and making it into Glee was bad. But taking the same concept and making it Baywatch Nights is not fucking better.
Look. I mean, didn't the classwork look more like what should be on this show?
There were elements of it that looked far more like a Star Trek, but it was still, in execution, a thing I would not want to watch.
So you don't like the synthwave, basically, is what you're saying.
I like synthwave. I don't like the faux retro 80s aesthetic where everyone is like, "Oh, look, we're feathered hair and we're friends and we're parties and it's the 80s." It's like, oh, okay, look, Star Trek: The Next Generation was released in the 80s. The 80s weren't that shit. The Stranger Things effect has been a net loss to people remembering what the 80s was actually fucking like.
So you got through the debate episode.
Yes, I got through 40 minutes of the debate episode because I didn't have access to the thing. I was hoping to get to the 5, although I really didn't want to. And like I said, I didn't get to the crux of the episode. But what I find very interesting is they introduce a big problem. They
Yes.
stretch out discussing that big problem for 40 minutes, and then they tie it up neatly in 10 when this is very clearly a problem.
That had been going on for at least a century. Actually, like
Well,
150
right,
years.
but here's the thing: if we take it to TNG and DS9 concept, right, where they still have to use the same 4 commercial break, 4 act structure, right? They would have introduced solution in Act 2 after establishing the problem in Act 1,
Mhm.
right? And then most of Act 3 would have been dealing with the difficulties intrinsic in making Act 4 happen. And then Act 4 would have tied it up in a neat bow. Instead of doing that, they dither pronouncedly through the first 2 acts, introduce the problem in the 3rd act, and then resolve it in the 4th. It's not just that you need payoff and setup, but you need payoff and setup that is well structured, and this is badly structured.
Yes. There is a theory going on that all of the footage of the cadets on the ship, when the ship is in space, are part of a episode that they filmed, and that the studio said, "Listen, we need episode 1 through 4 to be jazzed up with footage." So they spliced that and sewed it all in.
Yeah, see, this scrapbook thing don't work. I know it's not explicitly scrapbooking, but you can't make good product in television land or movie land with a Frankenstein's monster.
So what did you think of Jaden's story?
Motherfucker be gay. No,
Well,
no.
What's funny is he's in a skirt hitting on a guy in the next episode.
Yeah. No. It's just that I noticed that. You know how I was we were talking about Wonder Man. Someone in the writers' room was trying. Someone here actually tried to present human interaction and failed.
Which failure are you citing? Because there are many.
All right. So if this was written by someone who knew what they were doing and acted by actors who had the freedom to act appropriately, Jaden's reluctance is not cowardice. I've never had that problem. He's not a chicken shit soy boy Klingon. That's not what they're going for, although that's how it ultimately is expressed. Okay? The fact of the matter is that Jaden is probably hyper aggressive. In the right environment with the right enemy, this kid would unload and would go completely fucking Rambo on some people. Right? So his behaviors not wanting to do public speaking, not wanting to engage with people, or only engaging with the very few, and not really being okay with being touched make perfect sense to me. These are deflection behaviors because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. Why does he get along with Gary Stu, the super hacker? Because Gary Stu, the super hacker, has had an aggressive lifestyle, and he can sense that.
Yeah,
They are two predators that appreciate each other's company, surrounded by all of these other soy characters. But they had Captain Preppy teach Jaden some breathing exercises, and I was like, you know what? I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to help the very violent person to center himself and be calm, so that he can meet the challenge of this debate. It's actually a really cool idea, right? But because of how they're having the actor act, how they have put the character together, and frankly, because of the lack of time for reshoots, they didn't say, "Hey, can you approach it this way, and we'll compare and see which one comes off better." Right? All of this is obviously one take Willie on minimum budget. It instead comes off that this man touching this other man, standing very close to this man, is a very homosexuality coded set of actions.
with
right?
Their very tight breathing.
Right, they're very tightly breathing. They're standing very close together. They're looking passionately into each other's eyes, and Jaden has the expression of, "Is this guy gonna come in and fish kiss me?"
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And the thing is, it's intentional. It's not projection. I'd love if anybody is watching this to say it's projection, that we're just homophobic, but it's like, no. They knew what they were doing. They framed it this way. They wanted to evoke the gay panic.
Well, I mean, it's all about panic attacks and gay
Right.
people.
Right. Because they want to infer that Jaden is the gay Klingon. That's his super special, super secret superpower. Whereas we're going to infer that the Klingons are ultra conservative, ultra violent, ultra masculine, and that's bad, even though they live in triadic polycules, apparently, sometimes.
Well, no. He just comes from the polycule Klingon house.
Right. And like I said, because it's the thing I remarked to you, oh my god, they made them Somalis living in tents. Right?
Yeah.
And my problem here is not the idea that perhaps they prefer to live in yurts, although a yurt is a desert or plains survival expression.
I mean, it's kind of like a wigwam, maybe.
Yeah. My problem is my brain says you are Klingons. Even if you're not using modern technology, why would you not cut down those trees? Okay, the trees are thin and kind of East America. It's like, okay, wattle. You would build houses. If you didn't build houses, you would build fortifications. You didn't lose the traits, the tradecraft of warriors just because your society was beat to shit. Right? You build strong defenses against strong enemies that may exist. You conquer landscapes. This is the nature of your people. Right? How are we to take for serious all of this? You're going to be a warrior, go hunt that bird talk, if the characters in question don't meet the bare minimum requirements of being warriors?
I mean, those are great questions. And what did you think of Robert Picardo's performance as a teacher and mentor in this situation?
I want to kick Robert Picardo in the balls. Not the doctor, not the holographic doctor. I want to kick the actor in the balls with my gimpy little legs that don't kick well.
Because here
I want to pay someone to kick Robert Picardo in the balls.
Because here is one of the things that just really lingers with me about this is none of the teachers act like teachers.
All right. So was that slight step back? We're talking about the debate, and I was trying to talk about debate structure previously, right?
But now you see how it didn't pay attention to debate structure.
Oh yeah, no.
At all.
I already knew it hadn't been, but it's worse than I knew. The thing is that in debate, as somebody pointed out very wisely when discussing this on the Twitter, the people participating in the debate actually study an entire subject on both sides, because you have to both understand your opposition and you have to understand your positions, whatever they may be, and then who speaks for what is randomly assigned. So you might be in favor of something and you might have the position of now disprove it.
Now,
To the best of your ability.
Wouldn't it have been something interesting if Jaden was like, no, we need to force the Klingons to stop being retarded.
Right.
And he was then forced to defend the Klingons, and that was the frame for the debate that happened.
Right.
That would have been much more compelling television.
It really would. But I want to talk about the broader structure, because it's very important relative to the statement about class structure and teachers. So first and foremost, we have Jem'Hadar Drill Sergeant, who they've clearly dialed back from the previous couple of episodes, although she does, as I understand it, appear more prominently a little bit later in this episode, because they overplayed the joke in the first two episodes and realized it wasn't going to be popular. Right? They put together, credit where credit's due, oh shit, they're not going to like her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Holly Hunter, and Holly Hunter is hungover. Now, I don't have a problem with her being hungover. I don't have a problem with the idea that she spent all night up late with a Klingon diplomat drinking blood wine until the unspeakable hours of the morning, trying to get him to adopt a position that he can't for political reasons. But again, how much more powerful would this debate scene have been had he been there with her? So here's this diplomat. He's not going to bend. He's also hungover as shit. And yet, through the hangover, the words of the debating children reach him.
I mean, that goes with the tone and themes the show wants to evoke.
Right. Very much like the Betazed episode. The children will tell us that, isolation is bad. So it's like, just imagine it, right? It's like, here's Jaden. He speaks his bit. Whether he wins or loses is irrelevant, right? The diplomat walks up to him and he says, you fought well. It was respectful. I am proud to know you, etc. and so forth. And then you have Jaden reveal, quite shockingly, that he, did what was required of him, but he doesn't agree with anything he said. And then gives an equally empathetic, equally erudite comment on why he doesn't believe it. And this is the thing that turns the head of the diplomat, because he's like, one of my own people can speak the positions of my people so eloquently about why they're doing it, even when he doesn't believe them. And that's what he's going to take back to his fellow Klingons, and that's what gets them to change their minds.
That would have been much more interesting, I think, than the fake battle.
And it proves the Federation's thesis that diplomacy and intellectual pursuit is the path to understanding, if not, peace and cooperation. Right.
But you know what's great about all this talk about diplomacy you're doing? It ties us into the next piece of the horrible puzzle.
Okay, because to be clear, also for people that are watching this theoretically in the future that aren't in the audience now, we're not the Star Trek show, and we're not following the Griff cycle. I have other things to talk about besides Star Trek, but
so do I.
But this is a big thing.
Also, this is like The Acolyte in the respect of it's something that manifestly fails in so many fascinating ways. So now we're going to talk about how it feels next in a manifestly varied way.
Is this
So-
the 6th episode I haven't seen because
No,
it's
this-
not? Okay.
No, this is episode 5,
Okay.
Series Acclamation Mill. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Saying, why is it called
Oh.
Series Acclamation Mill?
Well, I mean, I know why, because they revealed that in episode 5.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I do want to mention something else, because it's a very tiny thing. It's a thing that you only get when you're a word nut, but I think it is prominent. Kurtzman Trek wants to memory hole you.
Yes.
It wants to Mandela effect the smallest things and make you doubt yourself. This is gaslighting writ large. So, with that in mind, the man's name is Kahless the Unforgettable.
Hmm?
The planet is Kronos.
Yes.
And the Accords are from Kittimer.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Not Kalesh, not Kronosh, and not Kitomer. Keep your fucking fake ass forced alternate interpretations and pronunciations to your fucking selves.
Yeah. So,
Here's the thing. It's like normally I wouldn't give a shit, right? If it was any other sci-fi and it's just like beep, blah, 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 I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, that's alien language. I don't know, I don't care. Klingon is different because Klingon actually got a formal book release. There are people who speak Klingon as an actual second language. That guy who wrote Klingon for Star Trek, starting in the movies and moving forward, is like an actual linguist.
Mhm.
Klingon has been recognized for its lingual acuity.
yes.
Okay? We need to fucking respect that work. Because now, at that point, we're not just defaming Star Trek. We're defaming, basically, a fucking scientist. Okay? It is offensive when somebody says, I've rewritten the Odyssey for modern audiences. It is offensive when they rewrite Shakespeare. Let me tell you, it should be offensive when they rewrite Klingon, even if I think speaking Klingon in a casual social context is cringe as shit.
I mean, it's better than speaking Dothraki.
God, yes. I'm sorry, children, babies who should not be watching this show. So many of your parents named you fucking Khaleesi. And you are now 5 years old, and that show is fucking dead, and that name is a curse.
Well, remember, Nicolas Cage named one of his sons Kal-El.
Right, but Nicolas Cage is a renowned weirdo.
So, the 5th episode, Series Acclamation Mill,
Yep.
is named, which is the name of the titular holographic character, Sam, which is a dumb abbreviation for what her character is. Her character is a diplomatic program who's designed to interact with organics and to determine if organics are safe to be around for holographic life forms. How does Series Acclamation Mill work for that mission?
By being fat and inoffensive.
Well, I mean, she's very offensive.
Right, but from a certain perspective, she is actively being non-threatening in order to insinuate herself into societies and study them badly.
So it opens with what is interpreted by many as a fourth wall break, but in actuality, this is her talking about her adventures to Benjamin Sisko, even though she has no reason to ever think Benjamin Sisko will ever hear her. She talks about how there's trillions of life forms, but there's only one her. And there's untold thousands of species at Starfleet Academy. And yeah, she's the most individual. and she does some sort of street dancing that makes me want to gouge out my eyes because it's not good, and it doesn't really make sense with the music they're using, which makes me feel like they filmed her dancing, but they didn't play the music for her, which is a shit thing to do to an actress. So her people are descended of holographic slaves. And here is something that is much more interesting.
Fuck's sake, really?
Yep.
That is so much worse than what I was annoyed about, but it also plays into what I was annoyed about, which fucking aggravates me.
So here's the thing. You know what was a species of non-traditional organic life that viewed physical material life as a dangerous one from Deep Space Nine?
I do not recall offhand.
The Founders. The Shapeshifters. Wouldn't that have been a much more interesting parallel, that she was an emissary for a being that was like the Founders?
I will do you one better. Just give me a moment here. Arguing with my machine. There we go. I put to you that this species should not in fact come from or be related to the Gamma Quadrant or indeed the Emissary in any fashion at all. This species should come from the Delta Quadrant and be a Voyager tie-in.
Okay.
Do you recall the Hirogen?
I do.
Do you recall the episode in which the Hirogens, having discovered the holodecks from Voyager and having brokered a deal to get a holodeck, proceeded to psychologically torture through murder generations of holograms until a holographic ship went rogue and escaped?
But you see, Joe, if we did that, then she would have had to have been mentored to Robert Picardo.
Which is what she's doing already.
Well, no, she's not actually. Robert Picardo's character doesn't like her.
Right, because she's bubbly and he's a dipshit.
So this was one of the first real missteps, in my opinion. Next, she tries to learn something about Benjamin Sisko. She goes to the Benjamin Sisko Museum. All she does is she looks at one of the orbs, but it's a holographic representation of the orb. And it's like, why didn't you just make the orb work? Because she's holographic and it's holographic. But I mean, the real reason is they didn't have the rights to Avery Brooks as a character. They didn't have the rights to Ben Sisko. They had to buy Avery Brooks' spoken word reading to use at the end of the episode.
Well, they didn't want to talk to Avery Brooks because he might have said no.
Well, no. The rumor is he did say no.
I mean, that's even better.
But the actor who played Jake Sisko came back to play Jake Sisko.
I'm not going to fault Sirach Lawton for needing a job.
And I mean, you know, he played a adult mentor to a mentally delayed 17-year-old.
Well, there's another facet here that I find absolutely fascinating. Did you hear about the lore error in the family tree she looks at on the computer?
Yes, which is hilarious.
I mean, I find it horrifying, but yes, it is also funny.
Now, there is a reasonable editorial cleanup for that.
Which is
that they hid that child from historical records because they didn't want Bajoran religious fanatics to hunt down the descendant of their demigod.
I mean, you could also have simply avoided the question entirely by having knowledge of the emissary, because, of course, Sisko is a famously important character, but not have the larger information of his family because, information was lost in the burn.
Yeah, but then how could we get Jake Sisko back for a cameo?
I mean, you don't. Literally, it's the meme. That's the best part. You don't.
So Sam is told by her creators, hey, we need you to figure out organics faster. So you have to get into the class Mysteries of the Unknown.
Which is a name I still hate.
I mean, I think they were trying to go for that. They should have made it closer to Leonard Nimoy's old occult mystery show they used to have.
In Search of?
Yes. They should have done that. That would have been a better Easter egg, I think. And then they meet a teacher who is played by the writer of the episode, who we later find out is Dax. Even though the Dax symbiote should have been dead under the established lore. And
I mean, it's worse than that. She's apparently in a body that is a multitude of different species, because it's a Cardassian and something else. But the Dax symbiote and symbiotes in general can only merge with Trill. All of the established lore says that it doesn't work in somebody else, and humans were like 99% viable. So, in practice, I don't care if you want to suggest that there was evolution over the course of several thousand years during the burn. This doesn't work.
The burn was only 150 years.
Still, then it therefore does not work.
But she then gets a Bajoran children's book to tell her friends about the Sisko. And her friends are polite but uninterested in her quest. Then she goes to the Bajoran Religious Club and starts demanding people answer her questions about the Sisko. And then we bring out Holly Hunter's character because she's contractually obligated to be in this episode.
Right.
And she says, like, man, I was on Bajor shortly after Sisko disappeared. They wouldn't even, show an image of him. He was so holy to them.
Wait a minute. So they not only are making false attributions and shitting on lore, but they've turned Avery Brooks's visual image into Muhammad.
Yes. That is the thing that happened.
How awful.
Mm-hmm. And then Dax tells her that she needs to learn the less logical things about Sisko. So she makes gumbo for her friends and complains she can't eat food. Then Gary Stu says, well, let me see if I can reprogram you so you can eat food. And, her whole race is conflict about, man, can we trust organics? And you're just going to casually let an organic reprogram you. At no point does the character have a thought. It's just an odd writing choice.
So, for our viewers, a deep dark revelation revelation surprising nobody. Larry and I mentioned this before. We had a bit of a talk about this previously, and my part of my takeaway here is, well, wait a minute. I've seen this characterization before. I've seen someone else do this before. Where was it? And that brings me to my preferred answer, which is Isaac is a
From the
much
Orville.
more interesting character from the Orville, because he is also an artificial life form made to study the flesh bags to better understand the flesh bags so he may integrate with them.
You're going to destroy them.
Well, and with that in mind, because I think it is pertinent, if somebody says, but why, Joe? It's like, because we know that's where the plot is going. We know that if she's from a mysterious race of photonics that are uncertain about the Federation, they will appear as an antagonist at some point to threaten all that is, because you have to do that. Right? The better than to put a stop to them later.
But I mean, they're not going to, because they're not going to get another season.
Right, but they have to present. They have to act like they're going, because it's going to happen, right?
So they go to the bar. That is not the original Starfleet Academy bar, but they built one near where the original one used to be. Which was the reason why I played the clip from the AI slop.
Right.
And then Gary Stu programs her to be able to get drunk. She turns it up to 12, as in 12 shots, and then acts like an obnoxious tool. She tries to encourage the Klingon to have sex with one of the boys from the War College. But it's a turnoff because they're both gay. And even though she's a genderqueer, polyamorous hologram, they're really not into girls. She tells Gary Stu to go take his girlfriend out back and have a good time. And then she starts a bar fight with the Romulan girl. And she punches the Romulan girl in another Asian actress, which is very interesting, don't you think? A black woman punching Asian people in a bar in San Francisco. Didn't we have a whole bunch of protests about that?
I would not entirely know.
It was called #StopAsianHate.
Ah.
It was a thing that happened.
Did it actually stop any Asian hate?
No, it didn't, because COVID happened and they dropped that.
Ah. The second it became non-viable, we forgot about it.
No, they dropped it because there was a new current thing.
Right.
And then she and the kids go to the sick bay. She gets treated by Gary Stu to make her not drunk. And the doctor tells her, well, how do you deal with somebody dying? You just do. And of course, the doctor had way better bedside manner in Voyager. And also, Dr. Zimmerman, tell me about your daughter.
Right. The daughter he never mentions.
Hmm? Now,
well, because remember, he debated himself into existence. It was not a lengthy process that he earned by coincidence.
Yes, but here's another thought. They made this same character because once they found this black actress, they knew they had to have her on the show, and they rewrote this character for her. What if they actually hired an actress who looked like the actress who played his daughter in that Voyager episode? Wouldn't that have been more interesting?
That'd have been something.
And there's the B plot that doesn't really go anywhere, other than Holly Hunter nearly having a sexual harassment complaint with the head of the War College, because he's in the elevator and she lays down on the elevator cushion and pushes with her bare feet to put her head next to him.
Jesus Christ.
I don't understand why they're doing that.
Because her character cannot act normal. She has to be quirky Dumbledore. Here's the thing. I've said before that the problem here is that this is not Starfleet Academy. This is Hogwarts.
Well, actually, Alex Kurtzman said when he was making the show, he wanted it to be Harry Potter mixed with X-Men, the first class.
Right, and this is why someone needed to hit him in the balls with a pole beam hammer. Because every time he opens his mouth, he loses breeding privileges permanently.
And again, there's that AI slop version of Starfleet Academy. Certainly looked more like something that would be a passable Starfleet Academy show. Because students are taking classes and they have, like, you remember Paper Chase used to have a show. It was a great show.
Right.
Based off of a great movie. It is based off of the drama and pathos of, going to school. Not being sure you're doing the right thing.
The thing is, okay, we haven't met He Who Shall Not Be Named yet. We don't have a Voldemort, because that could be, feel bad for somebody, or we have to pad it out because we're 6 episodes up, and they've got how many more episodes? 2?
6 is coming up. They have 10.
Right. So they need to start shoving everything into the last a couple episodes to build tension for that season 2 that's not going to happen.
No, Joe, you know what's going to happen. It's a streaming show. It's going to be episode 8 or 9 is going to be a flashback that's going to recontextualize everything.
Right.
Then episode 10 is going to be a false close with a cliffhanger
for a series that's not coming. But still, they have to do their Voldemort, right? But that means, okay, who are our other characters? So we have the boy who hacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have Draco Fishboy. We have Beta Z
Skank.
Well, I mean, yeah, but she's not Luna Lovegood. She's the redhead.
No, the redhead is the fish girl.
No. There's Fish Boy, and then there's Beta Z girl. Is there also a fish girl? And I'm forgetting.
There's also a fish girl who's dead as an admiral.
Yeah, Fish girl is Hermione. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So yes, the Beta Z is Luna is Lovegood, and then the Klingon boy is Ron Weasley.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
Okay, so off the top, you already know something's wrong. I can identify all your base characters. So Holly Hunter is
quirky Dumbledore.
Quirky Dumbledore, and the reason I say she's quirky Dumbledore is everyone's talking about the fact that she was sitting in her captain's chair wrong. But let's also remember she refuses to wear shoes, and she apparently has interesting relationships with men, because we talked to Klingon Hagrid the last episode, right?
And she also does foot fetish poses with her feet.
Right, and she apparently does things so offensive enough that other people feel the need to bring sexual assault suits because she's quirky and weird. And that means, well, wait a minute, Joe, who is Jem Klingon woman? And the answer is that's supposed to be Snape. It's bad Snape, but it's Snape.
I mean, shouldn't Snape be the head of the War College?
I mean, you'd think, but apparently since he's the kind of guy that gets unnerved by a woman wiggling her feet at him, I kind of doubt. I think it's more like they're the guy who replaced Snape, or one of the multitude of male stand-ins, because Snape was the dad figure that Harry Potter didn't want.
Yeah. So at the end of the story, after she reads Jake Sisko's secret book about his dad, she hallucinates Jake. They have a conversation, and then she solves...
yet again a sign of modern woke writing. Everyone has feelings and vibes. You have reactions based on hallucinations, not on real lived experiences.
Mm-hmm. And then she finds out who Dax is, even though Dax does not hide her name. It's in the course catalog, which she should have known, but didn't for some reason. And then she tells her creators, yeah, listen, being organic is about becoming, and the only way for me to learn to solve the organic question for you is to become something. That's her character arc. That's the episode.
Thanks. I really hate it.
Don't worry, you have another one to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you had some comic book stuff.
I had some comic book stuff. I'd actually like to talk about comic books for a minute, although in a weird way, it does dovetail with this. I think this is going to lead us to talking about the wider industry, not just in comics, but in media, because there's something very similar going on. So, if Church was here, he would speak to us of the before time, of the ancient history. But more often than not, we take Church's assertions on faith, pun intended, because he's the elder statesman of comics, and we respect his opinions.
Yes.
I actually have receipts. I found proof by accident. As you know, I like to read horror comics, and I like to read weird indie horror comics. I like comics with titties and blood that are not for common consumption, that your mom used to hate. Right? For years, I had been looking for one. Because I had found a story called Gothic Knights by Tim Vigil. The same year, I became familiar with a character named Diabolique by London Knight Studios, and I could find one, but I couldn't find the other, because I couldn't remember the name of the book. So I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked, and I finally found Gothic Knights. I found the individual story in a collection. I was like, oh yay! But now I'm like, what magazine did I read it in? Because I only read the first part ever. So I went looking for where did Vigil's work appear? What other things had he worked on? And some of them are pretty famous. He did Faust, Love of the Damned, well before Spawn was ever a thing. And he did some other things, and he did more recently he did a series called Web Witch, which I do not advise anyone read. It's god awful, but it's god awful in the way of people. If you like trash, maybe it's your kind of trash. Who knows? But the thing is that I happened to find it. I had found other books, like I had found Gore Shriek, and I didn't know about that, and I read it, and I went, "It isn't that bad." But I found the anthology series, and it was called Splatter, and I was like, awesome. And so while I was digging that up to read it, as it so happens, in my travels on the internet, I found another book that I had read before, a fantasy book called Elf Warrior. Have you heard of this?
It sounds familiar.
By a guy named Peter M. Hsu, HSU. It's very Chinese. And the reason it stuck in my mind is I want to say, the third issue of the set. Okay? And in that issue, the guy talked about how he had learned to hate elves from working on this series. So he had been trying to find more and more escalatingly awful and inventive ways to kill them. So the series is something of an anti-elf quest, right? It's about elves. It's about elves fighting evil, but it's straight up a death march to go fight Sauron. It's wonderfully barbarically crafted, and it's beautiful hand-drawn art. It looks amazing. But what I'm actually going to talk about is there's an editorial in Elf Warrior 3. Yeah. No, it's not in Elf Warrior 3. Where is it? Fuck. Stand by. I've gotta look through pages here. Now it's all big too. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Now I can. No, it's gotta be in Elf Warrior 4. Okay, yes. In Elf Warrior 4, we have an editorial by the creator himself, and I'm going to read it in its entirety, but it's one page. Okay. This comic ended in 1987 with 4 issues out of what was clearly meant to be a larger story. Are we doomed? It's doom and gloom time, folks. The cold, clammy hand of death continues to roam the halls of comicdom, seeking the sick and the dying. Companies which once flourished like mushrooms are falling by the wayside, stricken like plague victims, ravaged by the great black and white comic book bust. I fell to my knees, praying to the gods that I be spared. Evidently nobody heard, for the hand of death turned and pointed a gnarled finger at me. The major comic cons of 1988 Chicago and San Diego bore testimony to the declining fortunes of many publishers. Unlike happier times when they were identified by their high-kicking prances, independent publishers now file the convention halls in funeral processions. Declining sales were the order of the day. Circulations continued to drop, halving with every issue. Before long, book titles disappeared from views, sinking into a black abyss followed by their publishers. Under normal conditions, this might be a good thing. The system simply purging itself of trashy products which caused the glut in the first place. Unfortunately, even for the better black and white books, the glut may have damaged the direct sales distribution system, perhaps beyond repair. Many distributors have been strong supporters of independence and are no longer with us. Glenwood, Sunrise, and Alternate Realities have succumbed to the glut. Bud Plant was bought by Diamond Distribution last year. The net effect is to concentrate power to those remaining distributors. They no longer feel the pressure to compete against each other or carry a full line of titles or take chances on new and maverick publishers. When a large distributor, such as Diamond, which often accounts for as much as 50% of an independent's print run, cancels an order, it's often instant death for that publisher. In the past, Diamond's owner, Steve Geppi, has often stated his opposition to adult material in comic books, and the surest way to lose his orders is to include sex and nudity in your material. Most publishers know this and go to great lengths to ensure that their materials are inoffensive and child safe. Since we at Quadrant Publications lack morals and publish anything we want, usually smut, we had to do without the all-important Diamond orders since inception and content ourselves with low orders. We figured that if our product was good enough, if you couldn't see beneath the excess of nudity, crudity, bad writing, and late schedules, then that's your problem. Then we had a good chance of surviving. With our loyal stalwarts, Capital City Distribution, and Bud Plant supporting our books, plus our legions of subscribers, we could stay in business forever. Until now. So imagine my horror and panic when news reached me that Bud Plant had sold his company to Diamond Distributors. I was about to leap off a tall building when Steve Geppi himself told me that yes, he would consider taking in Quadrant. Though Diamond's orders are now a reality for Quadrant number 8, are their very first, I am still troubled. I suspect that Diamond's sudden policy reversal comes not from Steve's seeing the light, his convictions are too strong, but pressure brought upon him from the marketplace. If he and had his druthers, he would rather not buy Quadrant at all. That may be the cause should Diamond one day dominate the direct sales market. I can count on no distributor for salvation. Rough sailing lies ahead for Quadrant. But we will survive, for I am certain that if I did my best work, then somewhere, someone will always buy my book. That is from the trenches of 1988.
Yeah.
Now we jump ahead to today, right? We look outside comics and what's happening. Warner Brothers bought DC. Disney bought Marvel. Disney is buying up creators left and right. And what are we losing out on? What is getting kicked to the wayside? The creative impulse, the divergent voices. It's all getting streamlined into acceptable pablum for streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
It's still happening in comics. It's come again. It's happening in TV. It's happening in movies. And we knew it. We should have known. We knew it was happening 30 years ago, and we didn't pay attention then. And we have a church. Somehow, me talking about actual comics has summoned the giant church bot from the ocean. He's
How's
muted,
going,
but he's
Church?
here.
Well, I mean, I can unmute Church. Or at least I thought I could.
I mean, you could, but he's probably muted for a reason.
Yeah. So, on a related note, I have something comic book related to talk about because I have the latest issue of Conan.
Well, I do want to get into that, but what do you think about this idea going back to the past of basically very large distributors and very large media sources openly engaging in anti-consumerist, non-competitive behaviors and basically getting rewarded for it?
Well, I mean,
wait, you mean they'll be doing it openly? They should be rewarded for that. At least they're not doing it behind closed doors like they have been for the past 40 fucking years.
Well, I don't think they should be rewarded either way, Church. I think non-competitive behaviors should be stopped.
Well, we also look at the fact that reading was in decline as a hobby at that point in time. And so this consolidation is also a reaction to the marketplace.
Also, I think the experiment of the idea of a fair marketplace has been tried and failed one too many times for us to pretend that it's possible.
Well, it's not failed. What's happened is that governments don't want the fair marketplaces because fair marketplaces don't benefit the government.
Which is exactly why it's a fail. See, it's a catch-22. As long as you have government, they'll be corruptible. As long as you have corruption, there'll be monopolies. As long as you have monopolies, you'll never have fair marketplace. You can't get rid of any one of these things without the whole system crashing down. But as long as you have all of these things, nothing will ever change.
Mm-hmm. But you'll also have the system crash down too.
Not in our lifetime, so who gives a shit?
No, it's actively crashing now, Church.
Comics, maybe, but like the full system, no. There's at least 15 more iPhones in your future, Larry. Calm down.
Church, do you know how many months of growth in the manufacturing industry we've had in the United States, consecutive ones?
I feel like that number's in the negative, Larry.
That is correct. We've had 11 months of contraction.
Yeah. I feel like that for the past 50 years we've been working towards this contraction, and that's been the goal. What? Why?
Right. Well, no. The contraction didn't start until our current president started making unusual tax policies. But let's talk about Conan. So I have the latest Conan comics from Titan Comics. And on the cover, we see Conan with blood dripping down his brow and his face, putting a crown upon his head. So this is the comic for the Titan Comics that discusses Conan becoming King Conan. So let me read the teaser. On the road of kings, Conan of Samaria, dubbed the savior of Poitain for his valor against the invading Zingarians, is summoned to Tarantia to stand before King Numides. Paraded among the Aquilonian elite as the king's newest trophy. Conan meets with the Mad King in private, where Numides speaks of dark visions and of the woeful eye now awakened. Later, before the court, Numides abruptly declares his intention to wage war against Zingara. Well, it's Conan leading the strike, but Conan speaks against the king, calling the pagan foolish. It is quickly branded a traitor before being thrown into the dungeon. That night, assassins come for the Cimmerian, but Conan cuts them down before Prospero arrives to help him escape the castle and the city. Conan's unjust imprisonment and sudden branding as a traitor sends ripples across the realm, stirring people to action. The Mad King has gone too far, and across Aquilonia, the torch of revolution has been lit. For many months, the people of Aquilonia aired their grievances in private, complaints uttered behind closed doors to trusted company, hushed curses hissed between gritted teeth. Whatever frustrations they felt, they could not share them widely knowing King Numides and his dark-tongued loyalists could be around every corner. But then a stranger from the north became the savior of Poitiers and spoke the truth they all knew in their hearts. And across every province, in every hamlet, village, and city, the people will no longer accept their grim lot. And that is the first page of the comic. We then go to a a 2-page spread with Conan and several noblemen who support him riding to defeat the Mad King. We have various images of Conan murking people and Conan's allies keeping themselves and Conan alive. More pages of Conan killing people, because that's what a Conan does.
I mean, a Conan's got to do what a Conan's got to do.
And then Conan goes into the tent where the nobles are planning the final campaign against the Mad King. And all the noblemen started talking about, when I'll be king and when I'll be king. And Conan sits and he listens and he thinks about these things as Conan is wont to do. And all these men think, listen, Conan, when I'm king, we can do it right. With you by my side, nothing's impossible. And the people rise up against the Mad King's army. And soon enough, Conan leads the army into the imperial city of Aquilonia, goes into the castle, murders a bunch of people. Again, as a Conan do. And then the Mad King starts saying some elder speak, which is a bad thing. All the other men cower in fear, except for your boy Conan, who picks up the wizard and stabs his neck. And then the crown falls to the ground, and the plotting noblemen all scheme and look at the crown. But not Conan. Conan kneels down. He picks up the crown, and the noblemen all have a look on their face of like, what's he going to do? Is he going to crown me? But of course, Conan crowns himself. And the noblemen are, of course, forced to say, long live King Conan. And that is how Conan becomes King of Aquilonia in this comic book. It was a good time. 28 issues in, and I still recommend the Conan comics from Titan Comics. It scratches that Conan-shaped itch. It is very...
should really get that looked at.
It is very much the L-Spring to Camp Conan, as we have talked about previously, but it's a good time. I recommend it. So, Church, what do you have for the show today, since you have returned from getting your pack of smokes?
That's right. Did you get the smokes? I mean,
I didn't. I might have to go back out here in a little bit.
fuck.
Those regulations against the menthols.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, I just figured I'd stop in. The Superb Owl was over.
Well, I mean, it was over by halftime, realistically.
No, man, I cemented the outcome by putting a well-timed bet on the Patriots at halftime to make sure they didn't come back.
Well, that was nice of you. But, but I do have some additional content for the show. They had a Muppet Show.
Yeah.
A Muppet Show happened, and Seth Rogen was behind the Muppet Show.
My daughter requested to watch the Muppet Show today, of all things.
Mm-hmm. So Church,
that's lovely. Did you watch the Muppet Show with your daughter?
We watched the Muppet Show, yes.
So Church, you'll agree with me that basically the Muppet Show was Seth Rogen said, okay, here's a script that Jim Henson did in 1970 and 1980. We're going to do exactly that. That's exactly what happened to that show.
I mean, that's the only thing that should happen with that show.
And I mean, they had to get a different actor to do Kermit because the guy they had doing Kermit after Jim Henson died apparently was a giant asshole of the First Order. And nobody wanted to fucking work with that guy anymore.
See, I just have an entirely different, altogether more complicated question, which is, how can Seth Rogen be such a massive, unspeakable, obnoxious fuck up and somehow do the Muppet Show correctly?
Well, he also did a very good first season of The Boys.
Isn't he attached to Dungeon Crawler Carl as well?
He is. He also was involved with Invincible.
For all the good or not that might infer.
From what I saw of the original bit of Invincible, it wasn't awful.
It just wasn't the book either.
Well, neither is The Boys.
You know what? I didn't like The Boys as a book either.
I did. I like The Boys as a book, and I don't hate the show. I would have preferred it if it was more like the book.
My specific boggle with Invincible, by the way, besides of course the fact that the actual book Invincible loses the pace at some point and goes completely batshit, is no, the first girlfriend they gave your boy a new girl and made her as unlikable as possible.
Yeah.
I did not need that shit in my life. I find it unfortunate that they have basically assured that everybody likes Nolan. when you're supposed to realize Nolan's kind of a piece of shit because the Viltrumites are kind of pieces of shit.
Well, to be fair, in the Invincible comic, after the initial fight sequence between Nolan and Invincible, when Nolan comes back and you find out, spoiler alert, Invincible has a half brother that's a half insect kid. When you find out about that whole plot line, Nolan becomes kind of a sympathetic character again for a short bit of time.
Yeah. No, it's just as far as the show goes, there's a lot more emphasis on but Conquest. And it's like, yeah, but if you're a comics fan, everybody doesn't give a shit about Conquest because it's just another tougher guy for, Invincible who's gonna fight a lot of tougher guys because it's a shonen. It's just a Western shonen. What what everybody was actually ghoulishly waiting for, and I understand why they're waiting for it, is we want to see how they're going to deal with the non-consensual grape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, we've been told men can't be graped.
Well, I mean, they can.
I watched Oz growing up. I know that's a lie.
Right? I also watched Oz growing up. That show is good.
Oz
Which
is
also has J. Jonah Jameson in it.
You do indeed. So give me a second here. We're going to talk a little bit about Skeletor.
Okay.
As played by Jared Leto.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Skeletor in the new live-action He-Man's going to be Jared Leto.
So you guys give me a bunch of shit because I haven't been around as much lately. You guys, every time I show up, you guys give me a ration of shit about it. But then when I show up, you say things that make me want to leave again.
Look, it's not my fault that
It literally is. You're the one that said it. You chose to make those word sounds with your face hole.
Well, look. Ben Travis from Empire Magazine did compose the headline, and this was a quote from the director of the movie, Travis Knight. I'm only reporting what's happened. From the moment he hit toy shelves, Skeletor proved an instant classic. Yes, he's a skeleton head on a muscle body. That's awesome. Just as He-Man is a cartoon.
And he has a cool staff with like a evil goat head with horns.
Yeah. And he rides a Black Panther.
Well, because He-Man has a green saber-toothed cat, so you gotta make those two cats fight.
Exactly. That means the kids have to buy 4 toys instead of just 2. That's just good business. Look at his massive muscles. His nemesis Skeletor is a cartoonish extreme of evil. A cackling skull and a big purple hood. Yes, enough said. Exactly. And in his Masters of the Universe movie, director Travis Knight is playing it straight. Skeletor is a faithful recreation of the original character, right down to his eye sockets. Skeletor was a really interesting villain, Knight tells Empire. He doesn't need to be interesting. The original cartoon incarnation, he looked cool, he was scary, he was funny, he was insecure, and then, of course, he had a distinctive voice, all of which offered plenty for Jared Leto to work from. As a performer anchoring the role in Knight's Masters of the Universe, I wanted someone to craft their own version of that. No, the director explains. Jared approached us because he loves Skeletor and has his own history with the character. Please no. He wanted to swing for the fences, and ultimately we landed on something that I'm really happy with. Skeletor is kind of the embodiment of toxic masculinity. These are the words that the director of this movie had, who talked about how Skeletor was cool and fun. He wasn't always going to be this way. A Masters of the Universe reboot has been in the running for years, and previous iterations of the screenplay had Skeletor's vision as a golden skull mask. I said, fuck that shit. Skeletor has a skull face, Knight declares. That's just the way it is. It's a living, talking, emotive skull, and that's that. Don't mess with perfection. And yeah. So what do we think about Skeletor being an embodiment of Jared Leto?
Well, wait a minute. I'm gonna throw something in the private chat here for you, Larry. I believe we need to hear it from the man's own mouth first.
Okay. Yes. 1 second.
So we're contacting Eternia. We are calling in our correspondents. It's gonna take a minute. You gotta boot up those crystals.
Yes.
Fire up the
because they're orbs.
The orbs.
Quick! Everyone to the monitor! Now! Go! Go, 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 go! The pencil sharpener inside this rat's arsehole. That's how you can sharpen your pencil in there, because it's annoying, isn't it, when you lose your pencil sharpener?
Oh god, it's not more Destiny drama, is it?
Destiny? Nah, fuck no. That game's deader than a Discord mod sex life. This here is going to change everything.
And what exactly is this?
They finally made a Masters of the Universe movie.
Wait, a He-Man movie?
Well, yes, but...
Wait, how is that even possible? I didn't sell my likeness to Hollywood.
No, I sold all of our likenesses to Hollywood years ago at the simple request that they add a 22-minute sex scene between me and Lucy Liu.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Well, you never know.
Not gonna happen.
You never know.
Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
So the safest place she could think was modern-day America.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I mean, it's not a third world country like Birmingham.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. You got the whole gang here. You got
Sorry, the Birmingham line that hit me hard.
Man at Arms and
Orko?
you do not think that Decepticon up there is Orko?
Maybe Orko got a sex change.
What, the fucking Optimus Prime?
Wait, I think that's Roboto.
Roboto? This fucker?
He was kind of part of the crew.
Even you don't believe that. And is that Battle Cat?
No, Battlecat is armor. That's just Cringer.
Then why is he looking heroic and brave?
Well, Cringer does have his moments.
Cringer's one defining character trait is that he's a pussy.
Hey, Cringer is just as cool as Battlecat.
Battlecat fucks. Cringer passes out in the cuck chair.
Wait, what? Since when did we have an army?
I have an army. Shit, am I paying for their dental as well?
Wait, you cover dental?
Well, of course I cover. Wait, does the kingdom not?
No. Wow, I mean, we're terrorists, and yet we have that.
He's right, you know. We're basically Looney Tunes Al-Qaeda, and we've got dental.
We also get bonuses. You at least get mental health days.
That's a thing?
Oh my god.
And we're supposed to be the villains.
Can we just move on, please?
I look fucking great! God, I can't wait to find out who plays me.
I'll look it up right now, boss.
Who could they get to play a skeleton? Is Ariana Grande busy?
Oh, no.
Well, who is it?
About that.
Spit it out, Trapjaw. Who plays me?
Have you ever seen, Tron Ares?
What? No.
How about Morbius?
Nope.
Suicide Squad. Mr. Nobody?
Jared Leto!
No, wait, there is no way you got it from that.
Ah, fuck! He's gonna ruin my image!
Skeletor, you're a terrorist.
Yeah, but at least I'm not a fucking weirdo, He-Man!
What's so bad about Jared Leto?
Jared Leto is the kind of guy to invite himself to an orgy just to eat from the buffet table.
Can't you at least give him a chance?
You want me to take the chance on the guy who mailed used condoms and anal beads to the cast of Suicide Squad?
Oh, yeah, he totally did do that.
Oh, fuck! We're moving on. I'm still praying for the sex scene.
Take the sword.
Wait, hold up. Jesus Christ on the fucking cross, who is that?
Is that Merman?
What? Me? What the fuck? I look like a hemorrhoid.
You look like every dragon dildo rolled into one.
Wait. Is that meant to be Whiplash?
What? Whiplash? Oh, fuck off. That's not Whiplash. That's Killer Croc's twink brother.
Oh, what? Come on. How come Whiplash gets a full facial and all I get is a back shot? Wow, you actually just said that.
I have the power!
I was kind of hoping for a bit more oomph on that line.
Well, how would you do it?
Oh, well, I'd probably just do something like this.
By the power of Grayskull.
No shit, stop!
I would like to apologize.
You're a fucking dickhead, you know that?
Well, I'm sorry.
Maybe this is the sex scene. Oh, I look great, but Jared Leto, fuck!
Oh, wow, that looked a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Where was the sex scene? No voice, no nah, and no cunnilingus. I've been screwed.
Well, at least people were excited when they saw you. Nobody cared when I appeared on screen.
Oh, wow, I fucking wonder why.
Package for Mr. Skeletor.
What? For me? Wonder what it is.
Do you ever notice that we just don't have locks on the doors here?
There's a note, too. Dear Skeletor, we're sorry your character is being played by Jared Leto. We know how devastating this must be. To make this up to you, we have sent you a gift that Jared himself has prepared as a peace offering. He hopes this finds you well. Maybe that Jared Leto guy isn't so bad after all. Maybe I should give him a chance to prove himself.
That's nice to hear. You know, we should all grow from this experience and give people the chance to prove.
He sent me anal beads and a used condom!
All right, that's good enough. That was a good little bit.
I was about dying. I had seen it before, and it's still hilarious to me.
But I do agree with the joke. They really aren't doing the audio quality right for the Prince Adam character, which means he's probably not got a good voice for the role. You need that little bit of baritone in there. You need to be able to have that commanding voice.
I mean, look, if Star Trek Academy has taught us anything, the obvious answer is you don't even pay an actor who actually can voice it. What you do is you have somebody with a limp wrist voice play the character, and then when you have to do the transformation, you sample the original voice from the original show, and you just have someone say, I have the power with the appropriate gravitas. Because why pay an actor when you can just ADR?
Fuck that. Just give me voice meter and about 2 grams of meth. I'll make it work.
I know you absolutely would make it work. I want to. Here's the thing. You know how we kind of chuckled before the joke became old when we saw Fat Thor in Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, the answer is that if this movie does any kind of well, we need a sequel with Old Man Adam, and they just need to pay Church. Church, would you appear as Prince Adam in a He-Man if you could be in a He-Man movie?
Only if I can only wear women's clothes for the appearance.
I mean, that's between you and costuming to figure out.
There's a guy on my Ultima Online server that role plays as He-Man.
You motherfucker.
And he just runs around in the ladies' bustier.
No. You've been playing Ultima. You were trying to get me set up on that shit, and I was like keeping up with it. And then you were like, "Not that server. It's a bad server. I'll find you a different server." And then you never got back to me, and you just been running around having a time. You bastard.
Oh no, I've become a millionaire on this server. If you wanted to start playing, I could have you set up in like a day.
But guys,
offering me Ultima-based bribery.
I do have some good news. Some news that'll make you feel good.
Okay.
I don't believe you, Larry. You're a fucking liar.
I am not lying about this. Give me a second. I do have to.
I'm dying.
Well, don't.
I don't want it. I don't want to die.
I mean, that'd be bad for the show for you to die while we're on the show.
I mean, I should die on show. It's more cinematic.
I actually stand to make a lot of money if that happens. So I mean, don't discourage it too hard.
All right.
Can I get a couple thousand for it? I'm good for it.
Absolutely, I will absolutely cut your dead ass check.
All right, if I fucking die, just clear up my credit card debt.
I'm gonna clear your browser history, and you better be grateful for that.
Sir, that is not a joke. Real bros clear your browser history when you die.
So
that's what I meant. Yeah.
So Newgrounds
is back.
Is back and asking people to make things in Flash again.
Why would people use Flash?
Because
nothing's coded in Flash anymore.
Well, that's why Newgrounds is wanting people to make Flash again. And if you make a successful Flash game, you could win $500 in cash money. Second prize is
500 whole
$250.
dollars.
Well, it's $460, $250, $150, and bonus $50 each for people who use our modern API for medals and/or high scores. So basically, Newgrounds has made their own version of the Flash software.
What kind of malware do they have in this shit that they're fucking peddling off to people? Shit.
They don't. So, what do you think about
Larry?
Flash Returning from the Dead?
Larry.
What?
Come on now.
I never had
shit like this doesn't. Shit like this doesn't just happen. People don't just like revive software with no intention of fucking over the general populace with it in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, Adobe brought back Adobe Animator.
Oh yeah, Adobe. There's the pinnacle of fucking just trustworthiness in software that you want to go with in your examples.
I mean, I have not only found that there is I found like 2 fantasy publishers actually offering submission guidelines, and one of them is very open about their limited nature because they're a small shoestring startup, but they will straight up pay you $50 for your stories if you get published.
Nice.
That's one thing. We're talking about Flash games here, Vern.
I understand.
Let's follow my logic for a second here.
Okay.
All right. So every engine that you might potentially build any kind of game besides a browser-based game that you're not going to be able to get to work in a mobile device, which is where 90% of your market's going to come from in today's era, is coded in Java, not Flash. We on board so far? Everybody, everybody good with what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so we've got a company specifically using antiquated software and antiquated coding languages that no one is familiar with anymore, not only, but is no longer compatible.
Well, no, there are people who are still programming things in Flash and have been for about 6 years now.
For what implementation?
To do retro software.
And how are they going to port it over to mobile, which again is 90% of your customer base for consuming that kind of content?
Well,
the personal computer is dying, Larry.
No.
Yes.
Computer usage hasn't gone down for gaming.
For gaming, no. But personal computer use, see, gamers don't play Flash games.
All right. So
are we going to have that argument right now?
Well, I can't comment one way or the other on that, but I can mention that good old games, when you buy a very old game, they've done the legwork to remove all of the DRM, and you don't just activate it and it goes unless it's a more recent game. It makes its own DOS window, like its own baby DOS. When you turn it on, when you activate the game, presumably, if they are getting Flash going again, they have some system to do that. They are also providing a metric or a medium wherein you create like a baby 1998 window for when you could do Flash. So presumably there's a mechanism for making it viable on new machines that we're just not knowledgeable in, which could translate to being on portable. You could. That doesn't mean they did. So
yeah, that's my main thing there. Like I'm gonna skeptical until there's something positive come out of this, because what I have to look at is why would you be screwing around with Flash in today's era? You don't have to.
Because people miss Flash?
Who? I mean, the people that miss Flash don't have time to sit around and fuck around on Newgrounds for hours every day and study hall like they used to.
I mean, I would in fact readily consume Flash games, but I don't make Flash games, so I understand that problem.
Even you being the exception that makes the rule, Joe.
I'm saying I'm not a good argument. I'm just saying, like,
no.
If you look
I
at me,
agree, but
yeah,
I agree. But what I'm getting at isn't that you're a bad example. What I'm getting at is the example that I'm making. You're the exception that makes the rule. You work from home. You have more access. Like if I'm gonna sit down and invest in a game, I'm not gonna sit down and fuck around on Stick Warrior.
Well,
for the 20 minutes I'm gonna be able to game in between getting home from work and going to bed.
Let's do the Nielsen's math or the advertising math. It's one dissatisfied customer is what, 200 dissatisfied customers, something or other, by virtue of the word of mouth.
Oh yeah.
In that sense, let's assume, let's be fair. I'm not an exception that proves a rule. I am just one of a segment of the market, but I'm one dude. And in a room of 3 people, we can't agree on whether or not Flash is a thing. So I have to assume I'm the low end of that pool. So,
and I'm the medium end of the pool.
Right, and I'm the far extreme because again, like I said, I was absolutely that kid that would play Flash games and study hall.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the total number of people that would actually do Flash today in the wider pool of all the other options. No, it's probably not a very well-supported subset. It's probably not a very profitable subset. I'm not anti-Flash, but I'm solidly of the same opinion, Church. I'm skeptical as to its success rating.
Well, I'm not worried about a success rating because my thesis on the whole situation is that the entire point of this project is to mine data.
I mean, sure.
I mean, that's everything on the internet these days.
Well, that was my whole point to begin with, and you wanted to argue that, and I'm like, no, there's no other logical reason.
No. You can mine data. You can mine data without malware.
Oh well, okay. Now you're splitting hairs. You knew what I meant.
Well, I mean, I thought you meant you were going to download malware to your computer.
Well, everything that's mining your data without being upfront about it should be considered malicious software.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with that one.
I mean, we're right back to where we started when Church came in, which is right back to should things. It's like, should you be stopped for having non-competitive policies? Yes. Are you going to be? Probably not, but at least they're being public about it.
So, so I got some food content for us.
That's why that's why I don't have as much of a problem with Epic Games as most other, because they're a lot more upfront about the fact that, hey, we're selling your data, but here's some free games.
Yeah. So let me.
I can get behind that. We're fucking you, but here's a reach around.
Here's some free games. Now bend over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're fucking you, but here's the reach around. It's all good, baby. It's all good.
So here is a man wanting to prepare a meal.
No, that's a cow. He likes his steak really rare. I really like what this restaurant means when they say unlimited refills.
What the fuck?
This is why you always order extra fries for your girlfriend.
Stop, human.
So that's what
Just
happens if you let your cow in your house.
I just threw another food-related thing in your face, Larry.
Oh, very good, very good. 1 second, let me pull that up.
So by your comment earlier, Larry, I assume you were tangentially aware of the game as it was going on, but you had given up interest in it.
I have, because
there were some pretty electric plays near the end,
but still the Seahawks won.
They didn't matter, but
Yeah.
they were there. They existed.
Yeah, it became clear to me by the half that the Patriots were not ready for this game.
No, they were not.
So let's do a commercial tie-in.
What if
No,
bigger and much harder to eat? We gotta add some water to bind it all together.
oh, we're making prison food.
There it is. I mean, it's looking delicious already. The benefits are pretty self-explanatory. It's a bigger Dorito. This is my biggest pan, and now that I think about it, I don't think it's big enough. All right, that's super hot. Let's get the big Dorito in. Just slow and gently wins the race. Pretty close. It's been 10 minutes on one side, and I still gotta flip this thing. No, we didn't need that anyway. Oh, my eyes! Looks like a misguided potato pancake. Considering it no longer looks like a Dorito, most of my enthusiasm has left. Well, instead of looking like a big Dorito, it looks more like a plate of crud. We still got a couple of pieces that are technically bigger than a normal Dorito, just by a little. Here we go. Not bad. All the Dorito nacho cheese flavor is gone. So I bought some popcorn nacho cheddar dust in hopes that we can get that nacho cheese flavor back. And here we go again. A little bit. It does kind of taste like a Dorito potato pancake. Obviously, we need to revisit the recipe. Maybe add some egg in there to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. But it's not completely stupid. So I'm gonna have to give the big Dorito a 3 out of 5.
And you guys wonder why I just I'm gonna go out for 3 packs of cigarettes.
I mean, church. Have you watched any of the new Star Trek?
Yeah, I have.
What did you think of it? This silence is very awkward, church.
It's not awkward. It's accurate.
So when when you have a really rough day, and you get home and you think to yourself, I had a really rough day. I need to unwind a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you pour yourself a drink. So you go and you get your glass, walk over and you get your ice, and you get the big fancy large ice cube, because this is a rough day drink, right, that we're making.
Yeah.
And we're gonna skip the bottom shelf stuff. We're gonna go right to the top of the shelf above the washing machine, and we're gonna get the Clorox.
Why don't we just pour our bleach in our cups of urine? No! You drink the bleach!
Right, the urine's for pink eye.
I mean, did you see the Jason Momoa thing with Batista?
I did.
What did you think of that one?
So after I poured the bleach, I went to my cupboard, and I thought, I'm gonna need a little pick-me-up after this drink. It seems pretty strong, so I went and got some Raid Wasp Killer, and sprayed that into my frying pan and started cooking it on high heat until the crystals started to form. Because I didn't think meth was going to do it. I hate everything about you people.
Hey, did you watch Wonder Man? Wonder Man was good.
I didn't watch Wonder Man. I've heard good things about Wonder Man.
We were surprised. We had to say nice things about a Disney property for once. It felt very strange.
But don't worry, Disney's not going to learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, clearly not.
I have a new computer on the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, should be in next week. Start getting that set up.
How much did that end up costing you now with all the inflation on internal components?
Not $1,000. 32 gig DDR5.
Yeah, that's not bad for $1,000.
Yeah, Ryzen 5040, I think, in it. Terabyte SSI. 8 megabytes or 8 gigabytes on the graphics card. Windows 11 Home. That's probably the worst part about it. Yeah, about $1,000 all said and done. I've been tooling around on this laptop since I started the show, and it served me well. But the battery stopped charging years ago, and everything else just kind of went downhill after that.
So I want to ask a question from something I saw on Twitter to end the show with. What do you gentlemen think about the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America?
It's an all-time instantaneous classic.
It is a snapshot of a time of history.
One of the writers of Common America said the following on Twitter: Beavis and Butthead Do America is accessible on the same level of the Castle of Cagliostro. Yes, it's part of a larger franchise, but the characters and narratives are so fully formed and introduced to the audience that you'd never know it. Anyone can enjoy it. So, do you think Beavis and Butthead is the sort of high standard you need to set for animation for franchise products?
It's weird because you want to say no, but then if you think about it, it's like, well, they did actually have very good animation. The story is well told. The characters are well shaped. It's like it's trash, but they put way too much work into making it really good trash.
And it's similar to Lupin. You know how Lupin, every one of the Lupin movies, you don't need to know what happened in any of the other movies. It tells you everything you need to know in the first 20 minutes.
Right. If you've never seen a Beavis and Butthead episode, you are not at a loss to watch a Beavis and Butthead movie. And like I said, I mean, go ahead.
Oh no, I think it was a decent movie. I think, like Broom said, it was kind of a snapshot of a piece of Americana that was already on its way out. So I think that kind of added to the nuance of what it was, because when it came out, we were already kind of entrenched in what South Park was going to lead the modern society to become via the media.
But I do have to say, the remake, sequel, whatever you want to call it, movie they did recently, it did one thing really smart. Beavis was the one who ended up scoring and not Butthead.
Mm-hmm.
And Butthead was the one who watched from the cuck chair.
Yep.
So
that's typically how it goes anyway.
Yeah. So, Rune, do you have anything else for the audience, which will watch this after we're done broadcasting?
No. I oddly enough, I'm gonna say it because you usually say it. I think good show, and we got a church, which is extra nice.
So church.
Oh yeah. So as soon as the Super Bowl was over, I was gonna hop on.
Yeah. So church. What do you want to say for the last 15 minutes of the show?
Oh, I mean, we could talk about whatever you guys want to. The super fan episodes of The Office have finally come to an end. So it's the actually, there's something we should talk about. We should give flowers to someone.
Okay.
You and I are fans of the professional wrestling.
Yeah.
We've gotten Rune tangentially involved in the wrestling.
We have.
There's a creator on YouTube that everyone listening to this or hearing this should go check out by the name of Wrestling Bios.
Wrestling
Gentleman
Bios
from
is a
the
good channel.
Gentleman from the United Kingdom. The wrestling fan, and before I get into it, let's just take a second and explain why someone from that era of wrestling, of the Attitude Era in the UK, they didn't get the USA broadcast channel, believe it or not. The UK did not get the USA broadcasting. Who'd have thunk it? Now, I'm not African American, but I've gotten BET broadcasting my whole life, so I don't know what's up with England. But it was hard for them to get a regular dose of wrestling until the WWE Network put it all up. Now, there were some people that followed the dirt sheets and the early internet and wrestling magazines and hotlines of all things to keep up with wrestling storylines. And that's what most of the people in the UK did, just to get the tidbits they missed because they didn't get all the television that we got during this era. So that's the kind of shit that this guy had to deal with as a fan, and he still followed the Monday Night Wars from start to finish back then. As a wrestling fan, he got older and YouTube became a thing. Made a YouTube channel to talk about wrestling. And then he started chronicling every week of the Monday Night Wars. And after several years, the exact length of time that the Monday Night Wars took place, after 280 episodes, I think, of the Monday Night War series, Reliving the War series, he posted on Twitter recently that it was coming to an end. To which I sarcastically replied that he should start remastering the war now. Because like with any long-standing, creator, what he put out in the beginning sounds nothing like what he put out in the end because of mannerisms, inside jokes, production quality, all that stuff.
You asked me earlier, Larry, if I had anything, and I didn't, but I do now. Because this is wrestling related. Apparently, Church is busily drilling his own skull. You may have seen this guy. I may have sent you individual clips from this guy. It's a YouTube short. It's very short. But a gentleman has done what if the Macho Man Randy Savage did Shakespeare. It's not his best, but the reason I bring it up is because if anyone ever needed to know why people watch wrestling and why they care about the story, this is why.
1 second. Well, that is not the right link.
The one I just sent? That is not?
No. Yeah.
My YouTube has failed me.
It's another big Dorito.
Another big Dorito. No, it's the same big Dorito. Let's try this. There we go. Now it is correct. We're professionals here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, I like the cut of his gimmick here. Give me a second.
Yeah,
it's a good choice. 1 second. Then we go here. Hit this button.
Bored. So this is my impression of Macho Man Randy Savage if he did Shakespeare.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterday delighted fools away the death and LP Candle, last but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more.
So I'm bored. So this is
okay. This guy did not say yeah enough in the middle.
He did not say yeah enough. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He also didn't reference himself enough in the third person during the reading. And Hamlet's gonna question to himself, to be or not to be. Yeah, that's what we should do. That's what we should have. We should have the Canterbury Tales as read in the voice and stylistically as wrestling promos.
Interesting choice. Hey, Church, what did you think about Roman Reigns winning the Rumble?
I knew they weren't going to keep him out of action for very long. Right now, the product just isn't very good right now.
Part of the problem is they got too many people.
Well, it's not just they have too many people. They're not doing anything to develop any of them, really. They take one or two at the time, and it's not like the olden days where they had like these little pushes going on in the background. Everything is circling around the main events these days.
Also, there's no house shows for people to practice, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, there's no dark matches to build up heat, practice and do shit to see if it works or not. It's a much more polished experience, but it's just not as developed as a product as it used to be. You know, all these stories about Vince McMahon letting people take shots is because, you know, he could afford to let them take shots in certain respects and certain avenues. And if it worked, then, you know, they'd do it on television.
Except for the time he had the Ninja Turtles wrestling.
That didn't work.
Well, no. He couldn't have the Ninja Turtles wrestle on TV because he didn't have the rights to the Ninja Turtles. Are you not familiar with this story?
No, but it I promise you it didn't work whenever he did it. However, it didn't work.
Hold up. No, it did work, but it was different. So there was two underneath guys who put on their Ninja Turtle costumes and did like the Ninja Turtle dance back in the locker room. And Vince walked in. And Vince said to the guys, "Can you guys wrestle in that?" And they said yes. And so Vince sent them out to wrestle two other wrestlers. And this was not something he did for anybody other than the audience that was there in the arena at that time, in his own personal fucking amusement.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure it was pretty hilarious to watch.
So I've been over here being very quiet because I was thinking, I was trying to put something together, and I have a proposal. I want you guys to imagine.
Okay.
We take the Shakespeare as wrestling concept, and you do Othello, but Triple H is Iago.
I'm Iago.
I mean, Triple H is more like Othello. if you really want to get down to it.
Well, yeah, but didn't Triple H engage in a bunch of background, underhanded bullshit involving marrying Vince McMahon's daughter?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
also,
that's not very Othello-like.
But also, the character of Triple H was pronouncedly insecure as a wrestler. So King, who is profoundly insecure.
So, Rune, what you have to understand about Triple H, his character started out as the illustrious blue blood royalty Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he was very proper and very aristocratic. And but backstage, he was still best friends with like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and then what they call themselves, the Clique. Yeah.
And Sean Waltman.
And so when DX formed, that was just them kind of waving their backstage political clout around.
So are you in fact proposing that Triple H would be a better fit as King Lear?
No, Vince is Lear.
Vince McMahon is absolutely King Lear, but
well, I don't know. Because I mean the whole Triple H character, the whole game character was the King of Kings.
I mean, yes, but I mean the whole thing about his empire being taken apart by his children, that's Vince.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Of course now I'm hurting myself because in my mind I can see a lucha-based storyline in which Rey Mysterio and his son are playing out Hamlet, and the ghost of the murdered king is literally the ghost of Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm. No. See, it would be Eddie Guerrero and Dom as Hamlet and son, and and Ray would be the ghost of the king.
No. We did it. We did something up. Chavo would be Hamlet, and Eddie Guerrero would be the ghost.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
Right. So you got to figure out who Chavo
and Chavo
is
has to have the stick horse.
Right. Well, this is actually extra funny because I did kind of see this back in Lucha Underground because Chavo became a heel. I mean, he was already a heel, but he went hard heel, and his only friend was a steel chair he called Amigo.
Well, they did that same gimmick in WCW where he talked to a wooden horse on a stick.
Ah, okay, I get it.
Perry Saturn was married to a mop.
But
yeah,
but still, well, wrestling will never escape its really low class patina. I think
Judy Bagwell was on a pole one time.
But I think we all agree that it's really high class storytelling. It just lacks visual pretension.
Well, on that,
it's trailer park soap operas. That's all wrestling is.
Yeah, really.
It is. And on that note, I think it's time to say goodnight, everybody. What do you think, Church?
The guy who's supposed to do it isn't here, but yeah.
So good night, everybody.
I mean, let's all judge Ayrton accordingly and talk shit about him off stage.
Exactly.
Good night, everybody.